All right, everyone, welcome back to the Denver Sports Betting Show. I'm your host, Taylor Sadusky, and this special segment, of course, is in partnership with Fan Day Nation, not only giving you the best insight to all things NBA, NCAA, NFL, you name it, but we're bringing communities together and showcasing it to you guys, the fan. So with that being said, I cannot do this alone. I have Dylan, Bets in Denver, Denver sports betting aficionado next to me. How are you doing today, first and foremost?
I'm doing great. I mean, NBA Summer League's on. NBA, it feels like it never stops. You know, you have the end of the NBA Finals, then you have the draft, then you have free agency, then you have the Summer League, and then football rolls around, you're distracted, and then the next month NBA starts. So it's just nonstop for the NBA, I feel like.
It's a never-ending train, basically, on that end, too, as well. But we are in the heat of Summer League. So with that, we're going to get into those talks, see what's going on with the Nuggets, more importantly. So with that being said, we have to shout out our first sponsor of the day, Gardner Roofing. Are you looking for a roofer that you can trust? Gardner Roofing is Colorado's expert roofing team, family-owned and proudly serving the community since 1998. At Gardner Roofing, they don't just build roofs, they build relationships with unmatched craftsmanship, honest pricing, and a team that treats you just like family. It's really no wonder customers keep coming back and bringing their friends with them. So if your roof needs some love or you just want some advice you can trust, visit them at Gardner Roofs or give them a call today, 303-332-6224. Our family has your family covered, especially like today too. It's been raining like crazy. Yeah. Hail's on the rise, so give them a call to keep your roof safe and your family. So with that being said, last time we talked about the Buffs, Julian Lewis taking over the team, that QB battle against Caden Salter. As I'm sure it's like heavy all over the Denver sports media realm too as well.
Yeah.
But with that, we're going to be switching gears yet again back to the NBA. Like I said earlier, the Nuggets and Summer League discussion. So Dylan, just off the bat, you are my NBA aficionado, so knowledgeable about that whole entire just conference, league, anything. Where did the Nuggets leave this season in your mind, would you say?
I mean, they left the season needing to answer some questions about MPJ and other guys, and they did that. They traded MPJ away, got him off the books. They needed a backup center who wasn't DeAndre Jordan. They've addressed that with Jonas Valančiūnas, who also a sneaky three-point shooter, can stretch the floor. He's going to be able to score on offense. He's going to be able to get rebounds. His defense, you're not going to get the defense from him, but that's not what they need. He's only going to be out there a limited time with Jokic off the court. We all know in the playoffs, Jokic is playing 40-plus minutes. But when Jokic needs that break, unlike in the playoffs this year where he didn't get it, you'll see a guy like Jonas can maybe provide Jokic a little more of a breather than he was able to have this year. And then you saw that they had the lack of depth versus London. This team was one win away versus the eventual champions of going to the conference finals and maybe to the back to the finals. And so they didn't maybe need to make a big change like trading Jamal Murray or anything, but they added more depth. Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr. I think Bruce Brown coming back was the least surprising thing. He was at the Nuggets playoff games. He obviously loves Denver. He's a great ad, and I think he'll always hustle for the Nuggets and especially this team just because he won a championship here. So, but you're going to need next year those guys to also step up and kind of play their role, and you don't know necessarily what you're going to get as they get older with these role players. But those are two important guys, and I think they've answered their questions roster-wise. So, yeah, I mean, I think they've done a great job this offseason. Not a lot in free agency happened this offseason, but I think they added the pieces they needed.
Exactly, and with that being said, too, Bruce Brown coming back on a one-year contract, all these taking pretty much Nuggets fans from being just disappointed with the Cronkies, being like, it's over, like, we're scared about losing, like, Jokic sometimes, too, as well, to actually being like, okay, like, we got some, like, momentum, some more movement in this season, too, as well. And you mentioned MPJ, his landing spot now with the Brooklyn Nets. Do you think that's a great trade, acquiring Cam Johnson, too, as well?
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot about Cam Johnson. You had a great three-point shooter, a guy who can shoot 38-40% from the field. I mean, that's one of the things the Nuggets need is a guy who can consistently knock down threes in the playoffs, a guy Jokic or Jamal Murray could pass out to in the corner who's going to hit those shots. And he's a guy that was very sought after at the trade deadline last year. You had the Thunder who wanted him at the end of the trade deadline last year. Didn't end up there. Thankfully, now he's with the Nuggets. I mean, he's a huge addition as well. So that the depth of the Nuggets, they've really improved the depth. And I think if you're like the Nuggets, you don't want to split up that court, Jamal Murray and Jokic. That's where you have to add those pieces. So they add these veteran pieces, and I think it's a great move.
Exactly, too, as well. I think that's also notable to mention, too, that Aaron Gordon was also a big component in these trade talks, too, as well. Not wanting to pick up huge bonuses, but, acquire more money, more love for the team, too, as well. So I think he was just a key role. And, how does he fit into the Nuggets as more than just a player, but just his personality, his presence on the court, would you say?
Cam Johnson or Aaron Gordon?
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon. I mean, he is just the entire, I feel like, culture of this team. You saw him on the hamstring. He's going out there and playing. He's hustling. He's just so okay with playing his role. And that's just so a good example for other players who may want a bigger role, and but now he gets to play his role. And then you have this next thing, you have Christian Brown going to maybe take another leap That'd be exciting to see. This Nuggets team is going to be right up there in the top of the West, but the one thing bad is the Nuggets are in the East, where the conference is a little easier. This is a stacked Western Conference. Who the Rockets, you see, just added KD, so it's going to be interesting for sure.
Exactly. And then one more Nuggets player I want to just talk about. He didn't get his rookie start last year. Unfortunately, a horrible energy in Summer League. Duron Holmes, a big body. He's making a big presence for me personally in Summer League, but what has he shown to you so far, would you say, just playing in the Summer League?
My biggest thing for him in Summer League, 5 from 10 from 3 in his first 2 games. Maybe not the highest ceiling, but good to see him back shooting the ball well after being injured last year. When it comes down the stretch of this postseason, he's going to be one of the biggest players for the Nuggets, I think. I was very excited for his season last year. Loved him at Dayton. Unfortunately, we get to see him play, but hopefully he's like in that same form he was pre-injury. I'm very excited about his now rookie season, so I'm very excited about that.
It's very exciting to see too as well. Let's take a quick break real quick here. I probably have the most well-dressed man in sports next to me per usual. I can't get enough of his style. But with that being said, you can't complete an outfit with some jewelry. As you know, rocking some jewels per usual. Yes. So with that being said, Nico Stones, it's just the perfect personal accessory and it finishes every single outfit. So with that being said, if you're looking for timeless, versatile pieces that stand out, whether you want to dress it up or keep it casual, from bold rings, leather bracelets, there's something for every single vibe. Go ahead and check the link in the description and we'll explore the whole entire collection. You're not going to regret it. So with that being said, let's continue on and just look at Summer League as a whole. We've seen some teams just really dominate. Some teams just kind of like shadow out a little bit. Nuggets almost had it yesterday. They're still 0-3 on the Summer League roster. So unfortunately, they had a bad stint last year too as well. But with that being said, who are those players against the whole entire NBA that are just taking over the league right now and just showcasing their skills?
I feel like one of the most exciting prospects I've seen is Joan Berenger for the Timberwolves. 18-year-old from France, started playing basketball 4 years ago. I mean, he offensively needs work, but defensively he has all the tools. And this guy, I think, in 3 years is going to be a starter, going to be a future all-star. He had 7 blocks in a game. Like I said, 18 years old. In 3 years, he's only going to be 21. And when you have guys coming in so young like that, he's going to be a project player like Giannis was. Like you see some of these guys, but he has all the tools to at least could be a future defensive player of the year. Timberwolves in 3 years are going to need to replace Rudy Gobert. This is the perfect guy to do it. And then like one of the stories of Summer League is Yang Hansen for the Blazers. I mean, he kind of modeled his whole game out after Jokic, and you see him just dominating Summer League. And then Davis Garcia for the Spurs. He's averaging 23 points per game in the Summer League. Spurs just somehow always find these guys, and their young core is going to, in the next few years, going to be looking so good. It's just so exciting to see these guys who come out here and play the rookies, and you get to see them play in an NBA competition before the regular season, but can't give it too much credit because Ferdinand Korkmaz was the MVP of the Summer League a few years ago, and now he seems just like a role player. But it's nice to see these guys and some of their potential. A lot of these second-year players, you've seen like Kyle Filipowski is averaging 29 points per game for the Jazz. But it's nice to see some of these players you don't see normally get minutes in the NBA get the chance to get those minutes. And one player for the Nuggets, I think, that deserves a spot, Boo Buie. Nuggets do need another spark plug off the bench, a guy when Jamal Murray is cold to come in and score. He was great at Northwestern. He is that guy. In limited minutes, he's put up 10 and 12 points in like 10 minutes and 12 minutes. I think he's a guy who can provide scoring off the bench, and that's other thing the Nuggets need.
Exactly. His name alone just screams sports to me, I would say.
Exactly. He has like one of those March Madness names, Boo Buie. He was great at Northwestern, loved him in college. I think he'll be a solid NBA player.
That would be exciting too, especially because even since last Summer League, making changes too, no longer accompanying Trey Alexander. He's now a Pelican, so just moving along from past point guards and just seeing like what new talent is out there to build this roster. So with that being said, who are the vets on the Nuggets that need to not only step up, lead this team, but just really just piece this back together to like a championship level caliber? What'd you say?
I think the biggest one is Jamal Murray, and not in the sense of his like playing ability, but just being available. Being available is probably his best skill. If he's available for that team, he needs to be that second scorer, because without him, they don't really have that second guy to put up 20 points per game. And you can get 20 points from guys here and there in certain games, but Jamal Murray just has to be that for sure second scorer for this team this year. And I think he's the biggest one. And then Tim Hardaway and Bruce Brown. These guys, great role players, but you don't know going into this year how they're going to be. I think if they can average 8 to 10 points per game, the Nuggets will be just fine. I think it's really those three guys right there going to be the most important.
I would say so too as well. So looking more to like the vets, just around the whole entire league as a whole, we've seen Kevin Durant again be picked up by the Rockets. We see big moves. Bradley Beal, like just hours ago, being traded to the Clippers, bought out by the Phoenix Suns. So with that being said, how are these vets going to apply that big role to their teams? Would you say Kevin in Houston and then Bradley Beal with the LA?
I mean, I think Kevin Durant, I bet on him to go to the Rockets. I think he's a perfect fit there. Udoka's a great coach. They have a great defense surrounding Durant. They have a great supporting cast. You have freak athletes like Amen Thompson, and then unique players like Sengun, who's like pretty much a mini Turkish Jokic. And I think that Rockets team probably one of the most improved teams in the NBA, and probably had the best offseason just acquiring Kevin Durant. And I know Kevin Durant is older, and everyone's like has all these questions around him, but Kevin Durant can score. We know he's going to score. He's going to put up 26 points per game. That's all the Rockets need out of him, is a guy like that. And then Bradley Beal, you don't know what you're going to get out of him with after this season with the Suns, but we may see a more motivated Bradley Beal in a new environment. Sometimes that's all it really takes for a guy, is a change of scenery. And this team, if healthy, I think this team could break through in the West too. This Clippers team, I mean, they had a good series versus the Nuggets. If Kawhi stays healthy, Harden is back in form, they add Bradley Beal, they have a good supporting cast around those guys with Zubac, with Chris Dunn. I could see them making a run in the West too. So both those ads are just so good for those teams. I feel like those players fit right in.
Are one of those teams your sleeper pick to like be up there in like the standings?
I would say the Clippers. I would say the Clippers are my sleeper. I do think the Rockets, I wouldn't say they're a sleeper. They're projected to be one of the top teams in the West. But the Clippers, even before Bill, I think are even a team last year I liked. If Kawhi stays healthy, of course, another year, the older he gets, we don't know how healthy he's going to be. But if he stays healthy, he's one of the best players in the league, like we saw last year. So yeah, if I had to have a hot take out of the West, I would say the Clippers.
Out of the East, though, what are we thinking?
The East, my biggest hot take out of the East, Paolo Banchero is the MVP candidate next year, and the Magic win the East, go to the finals. That team is just going to be so good. Franz Wagner, Desmond Bane, they may be a little bit of an overpay for him, but he's exactly what they needed. They needed a shooter, a guy who can score besides Franz and Paolo. But like the biggest thing is Paolo's going to take this jump. I think he's going to average around 28, 30 points per game next year. See him average around 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He just reminds me of a young LeBron, even if you look at their stats compared next to each other. So I think he's going to take a huge leap, and I think that Magic team with a wide open East, with the injuries to Halliburton and Tatum, I think they can make it out of the East.
Exactly, two big teams like that taking some tough like losses with injuries and stuff like that. Do you see like that making these teams slip even more like down the rankings? Do we think, or like other teams in your agenda, would you say?
Yeah, I think it'll be an off year for the Pacers and Celtics, just because the loss to, it seems like the Celtics kind of gearing up for an off year anyways, maybe trying to score someone in the draft next year. But the Pacers, Halliburton is their heart and soul. Like they don't have that. They don't really have another guy who can score and create a lot of shots for his teammates like Halliburton. They have no other playmaker. I mean, McConnell and Nesmith and Nembhard are all guys who can do that, but not at Halliburton's level. So the whole offense really runs through him. So I think that's a team that's probably going to struggle and kind of fall down the rankings next year.
Exactly. Just like you guys do on your show. Do you have any hot takes like off the dome right now that you could think of, just NBA style?
Magic win the finals. I'll say Magic win the finals. Okay. That's my hot take. Or not a hot take, but OKC, I think people say, what are the most improved teams this offseason? I think OKC is the most improved team, not because they've added anyone, because these guys are so young and they're just naturally going to get better as they progress. You could see that team winning 3 or 4 championships. I mean, they've locked Jalen Williams, Holmgren, and Shai Gilgeous up. Of course, when that second apron comes, it's going to be a little harder to make the cap work, but that team is just going to be good for years to come.
Makes you even more motivated too, seeing that $900 million stadium being built out there. That looks gorgeous. Right. So that probably pushed me to pick up the little tab too as well. But then again, thank you so much, Dylan, for your time today. So happy to have you. The knowledge is just insane. And if you guys haven't yet, go ahead and give him a follow. Bets in Denver. Dylan, Denver Sports Betting, Fox 31 KDVR. And with that being said, this has been another great episode with Fan Day Nation, and we will catch you guys next time. Thank you.